Hey everyone, I am Dahlia.
And I'm Alma. This is Nightmare on Fifth Street, a horror movie podcast.
Okay, before we get started, we're going to be discussing 13 Ghosts, one of my favorites, which didn't do really well financially. That's a weird way to put it, right? But anyways, it didn't do that well, but it's one of my fucking favorites. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But Alma, please share what you showed me before we started recording.
Okay, because I got a couple of new posters and I haven't hung them yet, so I can actually share them. Ba-bam! It's so sunny in my office. Can you even see?
Yeah, of course. It's the
Okay.
craft. Welcome to the witching hour. I fucking love that.
Yeah,
It's
this is
so the colors. I love that the yellow's just like popping out at me.
Woo, it's a ghost poster. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. I'm so
You
embarrassed for
stop.
doing
Yeah, you
that.
should be embarrassed.
But this one is a family favorite from our childhood. Blast from the past, one of the best movies of all time. Dun, dun,
The
dun.
stuff.
Do you got any the
The
stuff?
stuff.
Anyway, yeah, that
Why
one's
do we
that
always
one's
say it like that? We always said it like that.
because we were stupid. We were really stupid. It was like a inside thing because most people we knew did not see that movie.
Yeah.
And it was like an inside joke for us, but at the same time, if nobody gets it and it just sounds like you're just being dumb, that's how it comes across.
Of
Oh,
course.
Talia and Alma again saying the stuff.
It always sounded really perverted too. I think the way we said it. It's like, yeah, we're stupid. Anyways. Okay, Alma, we're talking about 13 Ghosts, and I believe you said that you had to rewatch it today. Was that right?
Oh yeah, I had to rewatch it because it would have been a month. I think I watched it within the past month, but when we do it, I want to like refresh it, like just have it like just right within a couple of
Oh no,
days.
I totally get that. Did you watch it alone?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I had
'Cause-
the lights on. I was totally fine.
Shut the fuck up. I wasn't talking about being scared, you goofball. I was talking about like if because I know sometimes you
Oh,
watch movies and like one
for
of your
the yeah,
kids will watch it for the
yeah,
first time.
because one of my kids is a huge Matthew Lillard fan,
Yeah.
and so anytime I do, they're going to join in.
Mhm.
But I did make somebody else watch it. I think it was like 3 weeks ago when I watched it again,
Mhm.
and I love having just someone new to watch an old movie. This one's from 2001, so it's not really that old, but
Yeah.
a lot of people missed it, I
Mhm.
guess, because it didn't do financially well, as I would put
Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone.
it.
I suck at words sometimes. Oh my god, this is so
No,
embarrassing.
but is it like what's the
No,
proper word?
let me tell you real quick.
Uh-huh.
It's a real. The other day, I was trying to. We were talking about dancing or something. A group of friends, and one of my friends was standing there, and her boyfriend was there, and we were talking about, like I said, like, do you dance or something like that? And he's like, no, because we were talking about going, Latin dancing, like going and doing some dancing, and he's like, no, not really. And I wanted to reference that she is a good dancer, but I said. I said, well, I know she dances nicely or something like that. And I was like, and everybody just looked at me as soon as I said it. I was like, I was just trying to choose an adverb. I don't know why nicely came out. I ended up sounding really creepy. She dances nicely. I was like,
Did you look at her up and down too? Were you leering?
I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. But anyways, yeah, it did not do well in the box office. There we go. Right? Yeah. But I really like this movie. There's so much attention to detail. It's visually beautiful. It's stunning. I love it. I love everything about it. Um, and I love Matthew Lillard. So there you go. It's a win for me.
And reading critic response to the movie was a lot to do with it. Was great, like visually, but like the plot or whatever. I'm like, we're talking about ghosts here that are killing people. Shut the fuck up, okay? I would have written it like, people are being dragged away. I love it when people are like dragged off or ripped up. And there's like somebody who gets folded into like the trunk of a car, right? And that's fucking great. I'm like, that's what I'm gonna write in there. Somebody is folded, somebody is dragged off by an unseen entity, unless you're wearing the cool glasses, of course. So that was the interesting part. So they were wearing the glasses
The
so they could see the
glasses.
ghost. And the original, the audience had to wear glasses in
Yep.
order to see the Ghosts. Okay,
Mhm.
this one this is based on 13 Ghosts by Rob White, directed by Steve Beck, and the screenplay was written by Neil Marshall Stevens and Richard Do Video. Oh, I messed that up. Sorry,
Sure.
dude.
But yeah, so in this version, we have 3 uh, actors of Arab descent.
Yes, Arab
Um,
Americans, and that was
yeah,
like the first time in American cinematic history.
yeah, it was really
And
cool. So we have Tony Shalhoub, we have Shannon Elizabeth. Is that did I say her name right? And then what was his name? Murray. Oh gosh, help me out here. Um, the dude that plays the uncle, he is also I believe of I can't remember, but both Tony Shalhoub and Shannon Elizabeth are of Lebanese descent. Her dad is Lebanese. Interestingly, Tony Shalhoub is Lebanese and plays her dad. Coincidence? I think so.
total coincidence. What I love it though is that I think he played the dad so good.
Uh-huh.
I love their relationship in the movie.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's certain parts it just seems like he's very dad. Okay, like the little kid in the beginning, Bobby pisses him off and he cusses at him, and I'm like, that's a normal reaction.
that is
And
exactly what happens.
it's like pick up your stupid scooter. It's in the way. You're going to kill somebody. You know what's not believable is that they're in financial what's distress? Is it
Uh,
distress? And they got a nanny?
oh my god, that has always killed
Why is
me.
that always a thing? You're struggling financially, but you got a
You
nanny
gotta
to
know.
take care of the kid. What?
I've yeah, I've always tried to think of ways that they were affording this nanny so that it made sense. Because I can't, sometimes, yeah, not sometimes. You have to suspend disbelief when you watch movies a lot, and especially when you're watching a movie about ghosts, obviously. But this one, it's just like give us a reason, make up something like she was like the mom's best friend and she helps out because otherwise she'd have nothing else to do at home because I don't know, I just make something up except reinforcing over and over that they're in financial troubles and then yet
Mhm.
they have a full-time nanny.
Yeah, I get real picky about it. I'm like, if she needs to take care of him because he's not in school, then she should only come once they're gone. And then therefore she's getting paid to watch him while he's supposed to
Mhm,
be like it's summer break or whatever.
mhm.
But I think this movie released around Halloween or something.
Did
So
it
he
really?
should have been in school. And poor Maggie, as soon as I saw her, I'm like, they're gonna kill her because that's what they do. All the maids and all of the babysitters, and all the movies, they got to have somebody. And so that was a nice thing to root for somebody to not
Yeah,
die.
exactly.
I didn't want Tony Shalhoub to die because I love him. And
Oh, I
so,
love Monk. Were you a Monk
yeah.
fan?
Oh, yeah, of course. Huge
It's
Mug fan.
it's so funny because I love Monk, and I love the character, even though I rewatch it, like, every year at least once. I will rewatch the entire series, and I he's so insufferable. He's so horrible, Monk, just horrible, but you still for some reason, I still love him, and I'm just like, I'm rooting for him, even though he can be a fucking jerk. But anyways, I'm talking about Monk, but not we'll come back to the movie. I just wanna say I
Well,
love Monk. I fucking
my
love Monk.
favorite role of his is on the X-Files one where his shadow eats up the people. That's I'm like,
Yes.
he's such a good actor. Can we just
Mhm.
make this a Tony Shalhoub episode? No, okay, we're gonna talk about 13 Ghosts. Okay, so Tony Shalhoub's family, they have the uncle. I like the little background here. They got the shitty evil uncle, and Matthew Lillard is the ghost hunter with them, and they're capturing ghosts.
Yeah.
And the opening scene is the best one because it's like establishes that these ghosts are gonna kill people.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna
I do love that opening scene in the junkyard.
Mhm.
Um, and that's also when we get introduced to, what's her name? And she comes back later, the ghost hunter or the ghost freer, not a ghost hunter, a ghost releaser. I don't know what the fuck you'd call her. She's that chick in 28 Days Later that would go and release the monkeys onto the world.
Yes,
Um,
Kalina.
yeah, Kalina,
That's
thank you.
her
That's a
name.
how did I not remember that? That's a beautiful
Well,
name.
it's funny because I noticed that everybody has like full names. they all have, her name is supposed to be Kalina or Orexia, and they each say they have like a whole name. So Tony Shalhoub's family, he's Arthur Criticos. And so all of them have that last name, but I thought, oh wow, interesting, because well, obviously if it's a book first, usually they have a more established character. So Kalina is that ghost hunter assistant. I like how
No,
you
but
kept
she's
paired it
not
with
hunting them. She's releasing them.
she's
So
really, oh yeah, she's a freer.
she's a ghost freer. Ghost freer. There you go. All right. She's a freon, a ghost freon. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. But so yeah, so I want to talk about her again in a little bit, but I just wanted to remind everybody that she's in the beginning of the movie and she is anti uncle. Because the uncle's like he's creepy. He collects the ghosts, right? Matthew Lillard's helping him, and she's like, "No, you bastard, stop." And so it doesn't look like they're friends. But anyways,
No. Yeah, so Dennis, that is played by Matthew Lillard. He's more than just a psychic, because he can't be touched, or he gets like your like he sees stuff, and
flashes.
he's
But it looks like he
yeah,
only gets flashes of the bad shit.
yeah, is that maybe that's why he's so sad?
Mhm.
And so he's getting paid. That's the only reason he's doing
Oh
this.
yeah.
He said he was going to do it because he's going to help him catch 12 ghosts.
Mhm.
But he does more than just see. He like feels
Mhm.
everything. He can't be touched by other people. He
Wouldn't that
says like he
suck?
gets seizures from, yeah. And so he wants to take medication so that it eases all those things, but he can't, in order to find the ghosts for this dude
That
who
sucks.
is obviously the bad guy, Cyrus. I think that's his name.
Cyrus, is that his name?
Uncle
Thank
Cyrus.
you.
And something old. It's like, I don't know, like some old-timey name, Harold, or I don't
You're
know,
such a dork.
Cyrusy.
Okay,
So
so I
he's
want to
killed though.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Uh, I want to get now back to the family because we're talking about they're in financial trouble. That's the whole reason. Y'all has most likely seen this movie, so y'all know that that's how they get sucked into wanting to go to the house. Like, I love the fucking house. I'm not gonna lie, I would fucking move into that house. I don't care. Sorry.
Even with all
Um,
the glass though, all the glass
yeah,
panels, it's just like it didn't seem like private. How do you make anything, even the
it's in the
bathroom?
it's in the middle of nowhere, and
Like the Twilight fucking house? It's
there's
like the
enough
Twilight.
there's enough levels so that your room would be private. Um, you made me lose my train of thought. I hate
Well,
you.
you're voguing too much.
Oh, shut
And
up. Oh, yes, I remember now. Okay, so financial trouble, blah, 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 all that stuff. Um, I want to talk about Shannon Elizabeth's character. How old is she supposed to fucking be?
no clue. And she has to be an adult. And but they write her more like a teenager, and it's not like transferring well.
No,
Uh
it's not. Here's the
because
thing.
she's like, I want my own room, and she's very excited and cute.
Yes.
So I kind of get that too, maybe because her whole life, maybe she
Yeah.
didn't have that or whatever, but they write her like a teen who's
They
excited
write
to go
her
to an,
really young. And here's the thing, Shannon Elizabeth is a beautiful woman, but she is not a teenager. And if I remember correctly, the actress that plays the nanny is only like 2 or 3 years older than her. And yeah, like in real life, she's only like 2 or 3 years older than her. But what I was trying to get at is that um, she does a good job with what she's given, Shannon Elizabeth. But it feels weird because she's playing a little young and she's more mature. So that would throw me off sometimes. But then I'd tell myself, oh, stop. She's doing a good job. Just keep watching. But I just wanted to mention that because the lady who plays the nanny is like 2 or 3 years older than her, and I just thought that okay, all right, I can
maybe they're
believe that.
tag teaming the nanny position for the son that needs to be watched, because apparently they do need one, because he's just running. Why are
What
they
the
always
fuck?
fucking running off alone?
Doesn't that just
Okay,
like
they always do that, and it's like, are they doing that in real life? Or what the hell, man? Um, they make it to the house. They inherited the house. Okay,
yes,
so that's how they get the house. At
the
least it's
really
not
cool
one of
house.
those where they just find a house super cheap. This one's just totally free.
Oh, speaking of, Alma's opening up her own business here.
Fifth
Um,
Straight Real Estate,
yeah,
specializing in finding the possessed haunted murder home of your dreams. Look it up, okay?
Coming
Um,
soon.
coming soon. So in this case, they get it absolutely free,
And
okay?
you know what I love
With
about
all the contents. I always have to bring
yes,
up that all
yes.
the contents
All the
in the house.
contents, but this is the part that I do love about the fucking movie. We're talking about how like suspending disbelief for certain things. They fucking address the taxes because they always do that in TV shows and movies and like you get this, you know, blah blah. It's something really expensive for free. And it's like, hello, people, there's still taxes on it. Remember when Oprah gave everybody a car and it was like really exciting at first, but then when they realized they had to pay taxes on this fucking gift, everybody was like, holy fuck, and everybody got upset and were like, you remember that? Anyways, that was a thing. Oprah gave everybody cars in the audience, and then like all these tax bills came, and it was like, oh shit, we have to pay taxes on this really expensive car. So
But he's supposed
here,
to be smart. Yeah, Arthur's smart. He's a mathematician. He's making ends meet with the whole math teacher thing, but it calls him a mathematician.
yeah,
So he has lost his wife, which was a horrible accident where she was
or
burned
was it?
alive. Or was it? But so he would think of these things, and they're like, you don't. So to add more to the background is the lawyer, the shady lawyer. You know he's shady.
He
He
keeps making
looks
these
shady.
looks like in the rear view mirror. It's like
So
nobody's looking at you, dude. You don't have to make those faces.
yeah, he's like, you don't have to worry about money for the rest of your lives. And so that makes everybody giddy. And Maggie is with them, and the Kathy and Bobby, the kid, they're all go to the glass house with all of its contents. They're like, let's find a room. And it's just a scary environment to me. It looks cool. It's cool looking. But
It
to
creeps
be
you
in
out.
there, yeah, and the glass, dude, like everything's gonna break. And like I'm gonna knock something. I
It's
don't even like going to antique stores. I'm like
indestructible.
walking like this to
It's
make sure I don't touch anything.
indestructible.
We didn't know that yet
Well,
until, you know, Arthur tries to break themselves free once like the mechanisms are starting to like what's the background on the house, Talia? What's the background of the house?
well, also I was thinking too, it's a good thing they get all that money too, because they're gonna need like a full staff of housekeepers, because there's gonna be a lot of cleaning of the glass and like they have to use like
That's
like
a lot of Windex. It's like you gotta have tons of Windex, lots of
what do they use? Turpentine on like brass and copper and stuff like that? Is that
brass
what they use?
cleaner. It's a
What?
brass cleaner. I don't know what it's called. I had to clean brass. It's like yeah, I used to mouth off, and when I would make this tea I worked like you know, when I was waiting for my school, they give you like stupid jobs to do.
Oh,
So
that's
I would work
right.
at the admin desk for this master sergeant, and whenever I annoyed him, he used to make me clean the brass on the doorknobs and shit. So it was
I
like this
remember doing
cleaner
that.
and a rag, and I would go
And
clean
it
the brass.
smelled. I always
Yeah, it was
remember that because
weird.
it
It
would leave the
smelled really
smell on you. That is so hilarious. You would piss him off and he'd make you clean the brass. You dork. Why was there even fucking brass, man? What is this, the
I don't know.
1800s?
Yeah, everything was old and wood, you know.
That's the
The
military for you.
So this house is an evil machine designed by the devil and powered by the dead. That's what they keep saying. So it's a machine that is designed by the devil, and they have this book, of course. It's like the Necronomicon, but it's like for, you know, the
This.
devil he wrote it, and he was like, the devil was such a math genius. Okay, everywhere, all over the glass is all this formulas or whatever. I never even bothered looking at it really. Like I've never really focused on it. Is it numbers or
I
letters or
have no
words?
idea. I never really stared at it
I
either.
never
No,
looked at it.
there is writing, because there's spells and shit, but I don't know if all of it is writing. Like,
Yeah, it's writing, I know, but I never bothered to like pay attention.
mhm.
Like, is it symbols, an ancient language, or whatever? I just know that it's like script of some
I was
kind.
thinking Latin when it's written. I thought if there were words are Latin because I remember Katrina
Kalina. Was
Kalina.
that it? Now I'm doubting myself, but go ahead.
Sorry about that. Everybody, if you don't know already, I'm really bad with names.
I'm gonna forget.
It has nothing to do with anybody. I'm just really bad with names. But she reads something or says something in Latin, and what's his name? Tony Shalhoub fucking knew what it was. So I'm guessing Latin. Um,
And so he's not making ends meet, but he knows Latin. And
He's
he's
a
a mathematician?
teacher. Well, the reason is this is I've added to the story in my own brain. Okay. So, like, the wife died in a fire. So, obviously, the house is gone. Because fucking insurance companies are fucking assholes. They still owed money on the house. So,
Yeah.
her life insurance went to paying off some of that, I'm sure. Um, they say she died in the fire, but she didn't die in the fire because she's wearing a fucking hospital gown. So therefore, she was in the hospital for a while, and being a burn victim, that's fucking expensive. And you know how they are, fucking assholes. They're gonna make you pay for that. So he has, I'm guessing from all of that, zero money. You know, he's a teacher though, so he makes some money, but probably barely enough. And I'm sure she worked. So now they're a one income household paying for a nanny for some reason. So that's why he's struggling. And oh my God, I'm just like hitting everything over here. I'm really passionate about the story. But so that's why. That's the story I tell myself. Like, all these money problems came from the fire. But now that I think about it, he probably caused the fire. I'm thinking.
I
Um,
I do. He is, well, he's nefarious. He's up to no good. He is
Nefarious.
Cyrus, is the bad guy. He's a bad dude, obviously, because of what he was doing. He's capturing the ghost. Kalina is the one who's just like, I want to free the ghost.
Mhm.
Okay, so who sneaks into the house? We have Kalina sneak in the house before it closes conveniently, and also Dennis, the psychic, Matthew Lillard. So
Oh,
he
okay.
sneaks into the house by pretending to be an electrician, and the whole point of sneaking in is they're going to try to release the ghosts who are imprisoned in this house. Now
Really?
remember, the movie's called
No,
13 Ghosts.
her. That's what she's gonna do. Matthew
Oh.
Lillard just wanted his money.
Oh,
That's
yes, I
that's
forgot
all
because
he
there's
wanted.
money inside.
Mhm.
And the lawyer's the one who shows them the house, and he has one of the best deaths.
Oh my
He
God, I
he
love
makes
his
sure to
death.
get his money. Okay, he goes in to secure the
Oh,
money. The
fucker.
thing is that how did none of them know the house was going to shut?
What do you
Okay,
mean?
because they're all part of this plan in
Kalina
some
and the
way.
lawyer?
Kalina, the lawyer, and Dennis was in on the plan up to a certain point. How did they not know that this house would shut
Dennis wasn't in
when
on
the
the
family
plan.
well, yeah, he was for most of it because that's why he knew what the 12 ghosts were for and what the house was built for.
But
That's what I mean.
I thought you meant getting them in. Yeah, because no,
Yeah, that's
they,
what I mean. It's
this
like,
is what
why don't
they're bad guys. They're fucking
uh,
bad guys, and they were disposable. And
mhm,
he didn't tell them that they were gonna fucking get killed. Of course,
mhm,
he didn't care. He closed up the house. He was gonna tie
mhm,
up loose ends because he just needed the family. He needed their souls. And then he's like,
mhm,
okay, they helped me get there. Now I don't need any witnesses. So he was gonna get rid of them somehow too. I mean,
mhm.
how did she turn? Was she always pro Cyrus, or did this only
Yes.
happen?
Yes.
You
So
think so?
Kalina ends up being the bad guy too. But Dennis, he comes in. So Dennis is what his point then? What is the point of Dennis in the house? Just to
He
get
wants
his
his
money
money.
and leave.
Yeah, he wants
Okay.
his money
So he doesn't get it initially because the lawyer tries to sneak off with it and he's murdered. And this,
beautifully.
he's like between two glass, well, he's on either side of a glass
Yeah.
door. So he gets sliced in half and he has this really awesome his face. I love the way it zooms in on his face as he's sliced in half. Um that effect, and his mouth is kind of like, as he's twitching and falling and sliding. You can hear it in your head like that
Oh yeah.
squeaky sound like
Yeah. Well, the attention to detail is amazing because you see the glasses fall, you
yeah,
see the
his
tie
necktie.
fall. Um, and those are things that would happen because if you think about it, it's stuck on the other side. So this would fall forward, the tie
Mhm,
falls. And the sliding where it looks like he's still like he's aware of what's going on is so
mhm,
fucking creepy. It always fucking messes with my mind when I see it that
mhm.
he's aware at the first little sliding down of
Oh!
and then they show that angle of like, what is it called? I always forget what this one is called. This is sagittal. This is, I
Oh,
forget.
yeah.
But anyways, that pain is just beautiful. You see the skull and everything, the eye socket. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it.
So he has the money that's supposed to be Dennis's, but this is what I always remember at the end of the movie. At the end of the movie, that money's still in the house. As long as they find it, they're going to be set because that suitcase that the lawyer tried to abscond with is still in the house. So
So
they're going to be
maybe.
fine. They have a happy ending after
Oh,
all,
okay,
eventually.
okay. I see what you're
So
saying.
I always try to remember that. And
Oh,
Kalina,
I like
she was
that.
always in on the evilness. Kalina
Okay.
was always in on the evilness because in the beginning
Mhm.
she has a partner for the freeing of the ghost. And
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because they're like, they're people, they're not animals. We can't be trapping them. And it's like so funny because they're talking about ghosts. They're not talking
Yeah.
about animals.
Or
Which is
people.
funny because you brought up like 28 days later, they're trying to
Yeah.
free the
Yeah.
monkeys. And here she is. She's just trying to free these evil spirits who are
Okay.
murdering people.
So do
So,
you
but
think then that you say she was in on it even at that time. So do you think maybe she was like a ghost freer and then got enticed with money? And
no, I
so,
think she's been playing the whole time. She was playing him because she's in love with Cyrus. I mean, the first thing she does when she sees him in the house, because
oh, I
Cyrus
know
hates
that.
his
I
dad,
get that.
she kisses him.
Yeah.
And then he tells her like where are the spells. She knew everything in the
Oh, I
book.
know that, but I'm
She
talking
helps
about in
luring
the
him in.
beginning. That's
Yeah,
the part
she's
that throws me
faking it.
off. So
Yeah, I think she's
she
faking it
there
to
was
get, I think that she's doing that, just
why?
playing just to get everybody together. It doesn't make sense. That's the part in the writing
Because
where
she didn't, because
the
they didn't need, that's the thing, because they didn't need to be there. The ghost freers, because they
Mhm.
got all that happened with the ghost freers
I think
is
it's just to
they
get
show up.
Dennis's trust so that Dennis would trust um like her to let her in the house later, like that she was helping.
Okay.
Because he
Okay. I
does
like
think
that.
that she's helping the whole time
Okay.
until we find out that she was, double
Okay.
crossing
I like
everybody.
that.
What's a fun word for double crossing? There's a fun one for double crossing. Like, I don't know, like just
I like
something
your
cool.
reasoning. I'm like settling into it. That makes sense because
Mhm.
if they needed to show some kind of solidarity later with Matthew Lillard, this was a good
Mhm.
time to do it, where she was vehemently against, and then she loses her partner, which, if you think about it, maybe she killed the partner.
Yes. And I think it's written that in the synopsis. If you read it, I think it
Oh,
says,
okay.
but
True.
it doesn't, but the thing is, not they didn't show it. They didn't show
Yeah.
us that background. We're just assuming,
Yeah.
and that makes sense that she
Yeah.
would. So you can just draw that conclusion.
Mhm.
And also, she's getting the entire family to go along with her
Yeah.
plan
Mhm.
because she has that book and
Mhm.
because she's established herself as the ghost freer.
Yeah. And
There's
she
no
needs,
reason to doubt
yeah.
her.
And she needs
Mhm,
to get everybody to a certain part of the house. So yeah, trust me,
mhm,
trust me, trust me. Matthew Lillard, trust me.
mhm,
Um, her death too. Oh
mhm.
my God.
And
Oh, I
Cyrus
cannot.
double crosses her because that's obviously what he would do because he is
Yeah.
shady McFucker pants.
Yeah.
And he lures her between two doors. And also, it's like, how did he know it was going to close up on her?
Because remember, he is, even though he didn't design the house, he's
Mm.
built that house. So he knows all the everything about that house. So
Oh, yeah. Okay.
he
Okay.
knew where he wanted to get her attention. He knew where he wanted to get her. And then her death fucking creeps me out too. So these two deaths are deaths
Mhm,
that always get me, the lawyer and hers, because they're
mhm,
fears of mine. I know it's weird, but they're
mhm,
actually fears of mine because you see them in, like, you see them, these two deaths done differently in different movies, like the slicing. We see it in one of the Final Destinations. We see it in Cube. I forget which cube it is, but it's like oh, that's the worst. Sorry, I won't go into detail on that one because that was just like ah. And then the squishing. I remember since I was little, there was so many movies that used to show some kind of squishing.
yes, if you think of like Indiana Jones, okay, if you want to like action movies, but also in like it's Army of Darkness when he's down there with the witch monster, the that always seemed like that was going to come up at one point in my life where I'm going to be stuck between two panels, like the closing up of the bleacher on you in what was it? Ooh, in that one movie
Yeah,
with
but
the
so see,
aliens
there's
taking over the
different,
teachers.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
different versions of it all over the place. So these two deaths for me seem
it's like a
very
for real
real.
thing. Every
Yeah.
day of our lives, please be careful, you all. We're going to get squished between two things. It's going to happen.
Oh, speaking of getting squished, one of my favorite squishing scenes. Oh, that sounds like a fetish. I'm sorry. I'm not
No,
yucking your.
because that's my favorite kind of death. Every time I pick a favorite
Well,
death,
I would just,
it's like the
I just want to address
one.
that I'm not yucking your
Uh-huh.
yum if you're into squishing. I think that's a thing, but I'm just saying that yes, the death part. So it freaks me out because that the collector, I think it's the second one. when everybody's at the club and then they all get squished slowly.
Or what about in the locker in Hello Mary Lou
Oh
when
my
they're in the locker and she gets
a
squished
wop bop a loo
inside of
bop a wop
oh,
bam
yeah,
boom.
boom, and all like the jelly comes out of the thing.
It
See,
was
that's a
frothy.
cool.
It was frothy, remember?
It was like it looked like jam. It looked like jam
Frothy,
or
frothy
jelly.
jam.
Frothy jam and jelly. What movie are you talking about again? 13 Ghosts. Well, this one, she's squished between two glass panels.
Yeah.
Now, originally they did want to make that more gory because they could have, but they were
Mhm.
afraid of like the NC-17, so we were not gifted with her eyeballs bulging and popping out because they could have, but they kind of cut away right when she started to get squished. So she's double crossed. And the whole plan has been the whole time because the movie's called 13 Ghosts. They only have 12 and they keep repeating it. Is that they need a 13th ghost. That 13th ghost is supposed to be Tony Shalhoub.
Is
And he's
Monk.
supposed
Monk is
to,
the 13th
yeah,
ghost.
he's supposed to sacrifice himself for his children.
Mm-mm.
And that's why Cyrus has lured them in and he secretly has kidnapped them and put them in the center of the most gnarly
Oh
mechanism
my
that's
god, isn't it amazing?
it's nauseating. Yeah, but it's like if you look at it too long, the way it's like the circles inside the circle,
Oh,
and it
gotcha.
gave me the vibes from why am I forgetting every movie's name possible?
I know it's weird
The
because you're
space,
usually really good with it.
the space one. Oh, let's think of the space movie.
Oh my god.
Um,
Shut the fuck up.
I can't even fucking remember the movie, with
What's
that
wrong with
big
you? Are you
circle
okay?
thing.
I know what's wrong with
No,
you. I know what's
it's
wrong with you.
because I'm tired
Yeah.
and I just got a new kitten
Yep.
and that was distracting me all day. So he needed surgery. And we found him on the side of the road and my husband picked him up and then we had to take him to the ER. It's like 45 minutes away because we don't have an ER for cats here. I'm sure they do other animals. It's like cat ER. It's a tiny little thing. We had to save its life.
You said the vet said he's like 5 or 6 weeks?
Yeah, he's 5 or 6 weeks old, and they had to, like, fix
That's
his
so sad.
jaw. Yeah, his poor little jaw was like, it was, like, torn off and stuff, but we saved him. It
You
was
did?
like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna not save the kitten?" Of course we saved the kitten, so it's been distracting me.
So how many
So,
cats do you have now?
why you gotta count them? Now people will know I'm a weirdo. I
How
have
many cats do you have?
4 cats,
And how many dogs?
2 dogs. They needed me. I'm their little fur mama.
And how many cats have to be separated from the rest of the house?
2. The 2 old man grumpy pantses, and I do that. It's my job. It's a full-time job. I keep these guys so healthy with their special diets and everything they need. I am such a good
She's
cat dog mom.
she is a good pet mommy, but that's why she's tired right now because the new cat just kinda threw a wrench in everything. She's
It's
trying to
because I'm a
adjust.
new mom. I'm a new mom. It's hard.
She has new mommy brain right now, so she can't remember the names of the movies. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
so the
I love it.
gnarly
I think it's
mechanisms.
cool.
Oh my gosh, this is recorded too, right? So we're gonna show everybody that we're doing this. No, just imagine it for real. My arms are doing this, it's circles, okay? And the
Okay.
circles are going this way too. And the 2 kids have been captured. And I was pissed at them at first. I
Mhm.
was pissed at those fucking kids because I'm like, why did you guys wander off?
And Shed
They
Elizabeth,
had
you're
every
too
warning
old. You are too
to
old.
wander off, but
Yeah.
they were actually kidnapped.
Yeah, they were.
How? We don't know how they steal a full grown adult woman.
When no
Um,
one knows and no one
Yeah,
hears
and
anything.
nobody saw. I mean, we saw somebody grab the little boy, but you didn't see who dragged off Shannon Elizabeth. And it was like
No.
right sitting next to her
They
dad.
I know, right? Suspend disbelief, though. Suspend disbelief. He had
Okay, I have
created
a funny
something.
story. When she was dragged off, that is so scary because like it happens a lot in movies. They're like, let's when they need to help somebody and evacuate them quickly. It is so scary to be dragged off by your feet.
Mhm. It
Because
is.
it's like you don't have any control of your
Mm-mm.
running and
Nope.
your whole life is like are these people going to drag me out of this
Yep.
situation
Mhm.
faster? That is totally believable because I
It is.
remember being at the Alaskan airport when I went to go see you,
Mhm.
and this lady fell on the
Oh my
escalator.
god, I was with you.
But you were there. Okay, but this is the part, Dahlia. You shouldn't have laughed because this way everybody would have been scared until I told them the funny part.
Sorry.
Because if you fall on the escalator, I had the most horrible visions of like her getting scalped, her arm getting caught in it. You've seen escalator deaths in the movies. No, this lady fell, and then her husband tried to pick her up by the legs.
By the legs.
Why?
Okay, here's the horrible thing. So yes, the poor lady fell back and they're going up the escalator and they were far down enough in the escalator. So you see this scene unfolding where he's trying to pull her by the legs. Are flailing. And my husband at the time, now my ex, runs over to help while me and Alma laugh at the scene.
She was fine. He
She
saved
was
her
fine.
hair,
She
but
was.
we saw all of her bits because she had pantyhose on with no underwear. And so, and then
Poor thing.
her
Poor thing.
everything was showing. And it was just like, put her down, put her down. Why did he pick her up by the legs?
Oh my god!
Like me
Because
right now.
I think she could have gotten up fine if he hadn't grabbed her legs. It would have been an embarrassing get up, but she would have been able to just turn her body and get up. Except, yeah, he started grabbing at her legs. I think she may have even been yelling at him to stop or something.
Yes, she was. She was yelling, and so that was what made it even funnier. And we laughed, but not like out loud. I don't think I did. But anyway, that is what I thought of when she was being dragged off. Is
Yes.
but also I love it when she's dragged off because she screams so good, and she's flailing around, and she's honest to goodness. Like who says that?
Who says
I guess I
that?
fucking do. Um,
Alma.
she looks so shut the fuck up. She looked so scared, and I felt it. I felt her
Yeah.
scaredness, and I was like, "She's good."
She
Like,
actually did a really good job with the screaming and the being, because afterwards too, you see her eyes all red. She looks like she was put through something.
remember that we used to scare each other because we had one of us had the fear of like the half person. I think it was probably because the Return of the Living Dead when we were kids,
Mhm.
and the torso of the woman in pain was kind of like a fear of mine. I also this is very interesting. I have hallucinated a half person before because of my sleep
Ooh,
paralysis. It's one of the things
yeah,
I've seen a couple of times. It's like so haunting. I've never forgotten it.
yeah.
So that is an actual fear, like of a half person coming after me. And remember the cursed or was cursed with Christina Ricci, and she's in the beginning. She gets killed by the werewolf, and she's dragged off again. And I think that's why she's so great. Why isn't she in more movies right now, screaming her fucking head off? Because she
Christina
gets
Ricci?
no, her too, of course, because we love her. But
Uh-huh.
I mean, Shannon Elizabeth, because when
Oh,
she's getting
yes.
killed and dragged off, we
Yes.
said, "Oh my gosh, can you imagine her half torso coming?" I think you did
Yeah,
it to me
I
to scare the
did,
shit out of
yeah,
me, and
yeah,
then you threw yourself on the floor in
yeah,
the dark to scare
yeah,
the shit out
yeah.
of me
I remember
when we were
that.
watching that
I
movie.
remember that. Oh my god, and I'm sorry. Yeah, that's not very nice of me to traumatize you that way, but we have a torso man here too, that
Yes.
is actually someone who is missing his legs,
Mhm.
and, yeah, so what they did was they did the stuff like the makeup or the plastic or whatever around the rest of his body, and I saw pictures of him, like in makeup, outside of the movie. So his face is all normal and everything because all they're gonna do is what did they do? Like put
A
a
black
cap over
yeah, they put, like, a black sack on top of his head for,
so
like,
they
the
can remove
yeah.
it like that part later. But
Oh, it's scary. Each of the 12 ghosts are they have you can read them. They each have a very descriptive backstory to them. Each
Mhm,
one very unique, so scary, so
mhm.
good. Each one of the ghosts and the detail that they use in the movies for each one is so good.
It
The
is.
he's called the torso man. Each one of the ghosts represents something in the devil's plan to
Yeah,
open stuff.
yeah.
So
Um, but
that
yeah,
is
so
a good one.
no, I was gonna say, but yeah, so that was one of them. Like you said, 12 ghosts. 13th is gonna be
Which
monk.
one was your favorite ghost of the 12
Um,
ghosts?
I really love what is she called? The something princess.
I think it's
Um,
just the princess. Oh, yes, something tortured prince. I can't remember, but something.
I love her because her eyes, her face is just like so intense. I'm guessing she's wearing black contacts. And the way they do her makeup, and just like when she looks at everything, she never really changes her emotion. It's just like very just static, but her eyes are so fucking haunting. There's a couple of times when whenever she brings up the knife to like come down, that's the only time I really notice like her face do anything different. But she just does a really good job of just staying really kind of like a flat kind of tone. But those eyes, her fucking eyes are so I love her because she's fucking creepy as hell because of her eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, the mom and the baby, the one that's represented like the
Oh.
full-grown man, that's the scariest. It just looks scary. It just looks very, very scary because
Mm-hmm.
of the mom is like feeding him, and he's wearing a diaper, but he's like a full-grown man,
Oh,
and that is
like
just
what's going
really,
on there? Yeah, it's like too
yeah, and
much.
I
You
need
don't
to
know.
know, and it's too much at the same time.
Yeah,
So that ghost is really, really good. I didn't get the like the torn or whatever prince or whatever. Like I wasn't feeling
I
him.
think a werewolf for him.
Yeah, but everybody else, stop it.
Sorry.
So we get Cyrus sets it up to where he has like all the ghosts and he calls them with the spells. Now, this is a funny thing that I always note is they said the ghosts have to obey what the spells say, written or said. Okay, and at one point, Arthur and Dennis, they're carrying around a big sheet of glass with the protection spells on it. Why didn't they just write it on themselves? Why
because
didn't they just write the spells on themselves to keep the ghosts from touching them?
because they don't know the language, they don't know the spells. This was already written.
They could have copied it from the glass.
That
Just
would
get
take too
a
much time. That would take too
Sharpie.
much time.
How?
It just
They
takes too much
had
time.
enough time to sit there and learn about the Necronomicon and their fucking 12 fucking ghosts. And they were sitting there. They're like, they even take the time to explain. Okay, this is all like an emergency situation, but they have a meeting and they're sitting there and they're like telling him, "You're the 13th ghost." Okay, and they whispered it and everything just like I did. And they don't have enough time to just copy some fucking
Well,
words that is
which words were gonna be the ones that were gonna ward him
all of them.
off?
You could have the whole time they were talking, explaining him the
Oh
story,
my god.
fucking Sharpie his fucking face the whole time. Okay, and so what they need is a sacrifice of a love, and that's going to be you. You're the 13th ghost. I'm the 13th ghost. See, look, I'm doing it right now, dude. Dude, I just did it. Okay, it's
You were
classical.
such a fucking dork. No, I think they did what they did because it was the smartest plan, not the stupidest
To
one like
carry
yours.
around it, there was fucking stupid carrying around a giant glass.
Anyways,
It didn't matter because Dennis got killed anyway. He had foreseen it and he was killed. So it's just him.
Matthew Lillard died. Poor
Yeah,
guy.
awful. They kill him so gross.
They do. They do. I love his character, even though he is a bad guy because he helped and he only did it for the money. So that's the bad part of him. But then he redeems himself.
He didn't know that that was his wife's ghost as one of them.
Correct. But he does
Oh,
redeem himself by doing that. And he comes back at the end of the movie. He's cleaning his glasses and he's just like, so I'm like thinking like, so is he going to be able to go off and like be free now and like never have to be tortured ever again by the spirits? Because I'm guessing that's what happens. Because at the end, all the ghosts go bye-bye. All of them.
because
So
Maggie saves the day. Maggie is the what is she going to get the money? I hope she finds the money in the house. Maggie saves them because okay, she get knocked out at one point. She get knocked out awful. Like she gets hit with that giant book out of nowhere and they show her flying across the
that
room and
was
slamming against
mean.
the
I
yeah,
mean,
couldn't
come
they just
on.
light her up?
Right?
That was excessive. So I'm like, oh no, Maggie. Well, she ends up fucking with all the mechanism that breaks the machine that is powering this thing just in time for Arthur to go sit with his kids in the center of the machine. Now, she's the one who saves everybody because she's the one moving all of the levers and
It was
breaks it.
very smart. I like that they show her doing that because there's so much attention to detail in this movie. Like I
Mhm.
said,
And it's
I love the glass
mechanical.
panes. I love the
Mhm.
ghost. Each ghost just looks so amazing. I love them because these ghosts look scary as fuck. They're not some cheesy ass bullshit like I see in other movies, and I still love those movies anyways. But no, these ghosts are done so well. So I notice. I try to pay attention every time to try to pick up something different. But she is when she's fucking with everything, she's basically reversing what's already done. So like if all the levers were up, she's pulling them down. And the tapes are going this way, she starts trying to go make it go backwards and destroy what's going on. So she was super smart, went straight there as soon as she got free to be able, well, free from what? Where was she? Anyways,
she was just knocked the fuck out.
Okay.
That was their problem,
Yeah.
because Cyrus was faking being dead, and even Arthur thought he was a ghost until he realizes, oh
Mhm.
no, I've been fooled, because
Yeah.
he's super smart. But she just wakes up.
Yeah.
They just left her there. He bothers to kill the other woman, but he didn't even
Yeah.
notice that Maggie was still alive on the floor. And she
She's the
manages to
hero.
blow up. Yeah, she manages to blow up the thing. But when it blows up, I was like, the whole time, I'm like, okay, so stuff starts fucking up and starts flying everywhere. There's mechanical pieces whirring, wishing by, or whatever those words are. And I'm like, Maggie, I'm screaming for Maggie the whole time. I'm like, poor Maggie. But they let her live. They
They
let
let
her
her
live.
live.
And also, because it was kind of a miracle anyway, because the dad is only covering his kids
I
in the
know.
center, and he survived all the glass. If he was going to survive all of the glass and all of the mechanical parts just flying around and everything just getting destroyed, then Maggie deserved to live. And I
Yes.
appreciate that they showed her like, fuck this place and I quit or
But
whatever.
here's the thing though. You are correct. I like the idea of her finding the money to be able to like live, like her best life. And I would be totally okay with, even though I love Monk, with Tony Shalhoub and his family not finding it. Because like they seem to be bonding pretty well over here when they all survived. It's like he found a new will to live. Before he was just surviving, and now he's living, because he's going to be living for his kids now. He was just over here like, oh, I'm sad my wife died, which is understandable, but now he's like, oh, my kids are alive, this is
Yeah.
fantastic.
And
And
he did sacrifice for them, because he
yeah.
jumped in that mechanism without
Mhm.
knowing that he would survive it. He
Exactly.
just felt that he needed to protect his kids, and therefore he was willing to make that sacrifice.
Do you
But
want to
also,
go ahead? Sorry.
they got to see the mom. They got to see the mom and
Yes.
say farewell to her, not in a hospital bed,
Mhm.
not all burned up or anything. They saw her beautiful spirit get to be
She
like at
didn't talk.
rest.
Her lips were.
Mhm. Yeah, and that was it. That was it. So they have their peace. So Maggie finds the suitcase. She goes and runs away from these awful people who took her to this stupid house of glass. And she's
I
partying
like
up.
the house. I like the house. I would have moved in. I'm a chump. I would have been a chump, move into the house, been the 13th ghost, all of that.
So
Um,
if this listing appears on Fifth Street Real Estate, Dahlia is going to take it. It's totally free, everyone. You
I'm
get it
putting
for
a
free.
down payment.
Taxes for the rest of your life paid
Oh,
for.
that's right.
You just have to be comfortable with stupid writing all over glass walls.
And 12
And
ghosts in the basement.
you just take I kept thinking to myself, I would just take the bathroom in the corner of the house away from everybody, because otherwise, how are you supposed to use the bathroom with those glass panels?
They found a way. I'm telling you. Levels. The levels. Okay.
uh,
I love this movie. If y'all haven't
okay.
seen it in a while, watch it again. Like I said, visually stunning. I fucking love it. Fucking ghosts, the fucking
It's on
house,
Netflix.
all the
It's on
mecha.
Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix. So if you got, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
that's cool.
dude,
Go
watch
watch
it.
it. It's great. It's a great movie. And it's
It's
a
a great
great
way
way to
to
stay in
stay.
shape. I messed up because we say it at the same time.
I know, but bye everybody. And well, if
Bye.
you're,
Oh, happy Friday the 13th.
yeah, I was just about to
13th
say.
goes. 13 goes. 13. Cool.
So if you're watching this on Friday the 13th, and if you're not watching this on Friday the 13th, happy Friday
It's
the
just a
13th
day.
anyways. You can still
There'll be another
celebrate.
one for
You can
most
still
of us.
celebrate. For oh,
What if
that's
they take one of my houses on Fifth Street Real Estate?
you're such a dork.
Hope you survive.
Stop it. I keep trying to say bye and you keep trying to be creepy.
Bye.
Bye.